the hopes I have, one of the real dreams that I have for European Muslim communities, which I think can bring so much khair for generations, is that I want to see youth emerge, men and women emerge from here that are well accomplished in their own careers. So whether they're MBAs, engineers, doctors, whatever they are. But at the same time, they're very well educated in Allah's book at the same time. And they're articulate enough that they can actually speak intelligently about Allah's book from Fatiha to Nas. They can do that. And that's not an impossible task. Just to, you don't have to become a scholar in every field of Islam, but we have to generalize at least the bare minimum knowledge of Islam, which to me is the word of Allah, is the starting point knowledge of Islam. Because this is where Islam literally started. It started with this, right? And I would wish that every Ramadan and every year there's actually even series durus going on, and not even done by the shuyukh, but under the guidance of the scholars and the imams. But the young men and women are actually creating their own study circles where they're actually going through the entire Quran. And they're studying and they're able to speak articulately about the Quran and share lessons from the Quran. And every year they can deepen their own learning and help others deepen their learning of the Quran. Because reading a translation of the Quran is a completely different experience than sitting and listening to the Quran being explained. They are worlds apart. And the more you feel passionate about the Quran, the more passionately you'll be able to speak about the Quran. And that passion is infectious. You see people talk about sports, that love sports, and even if you don't like sports, you want to listen to the guy. Because they love it so much, the way they talk about it, like, I want to hear what this is, And there are people that love cars, and they love whatever subject, and just the way they speak about it, it just oozes out of them, right? So when you develop that love of Quran, of contemplation, of study, then the way you're going to start talking about it, you're not going to have to take some course on public speaking, or how do I, your aim is not to become a public speaker or an influencer. Most influencers are influenced or under the influence, but the idea isn't you want to become a public figure. The idea is you should be able to speak passionately about something that inspires you. That's all it is. And that can happen in your living room, with your friends, with your family. It doesn't have to be a TikTok page. It doesn't have to be like a YouTube video. Like, that's not the only way to communicate with humanity. And unfortunately, now that's become almost like, I want to become more famous online. I want to give something. And I keep criticizing this idea. People become like makeup influencers online and workout influencers and nutrition influencers. And now the new thing among youth is I want to become a hijab influencer or a beard influencer. I don't know what. Like an Islam influencer. But it's basically the desire isn't Islam. The desire, the thing in capital letters is the influencer part, not the Islam part. Right? This is, I love the attention. I love the engagement. I love the growing followers. I love the comments. But I love how you say, and for the sake of Allah, I want to give you guys some advice. Just really good advice for you that I'm giving in my filtered camera. That's going to be really, really beneficial for you. And I'm just doing this for the sake of Allah, even though I'm going to keep checking the comments for the sake of Allah. Anyway.